I've been involved in diabetes research for about 23 years. It actually started while I was back in Nigeria as a lecturer. And my interest in diabetes started from the fact that, number one, I grew up in a village and I see a lot of people around me, living with diabetes, living with all kinds of ailments. And so that began my interest in biochemistry, which led me to start researching, plant materials that are used in treating diabetes. In 2009, I got a scholarship that brought me to the United Kingdom to continue my research. And the original intention is to continue my work in medicinal plants. But we met a professor from United Arab Emirates who has been working on amphibian skin peptides. Naturally frogs produce these slimy materials on their skin. And this professor has been working on those slimy materials, trying to look for what are the constituents, what are the materials inside that slimy stuff that could be beneficial in treating as antimicrobial agent, pretty much. That's what he was looking for. But then he found some of those materials don't really do anything. And so we met in a conference, and then he gave us about 8 of those materials, which we tested in our lab. And we saw that one of them actually has something that could help people living with diabetes to produce more insulin. Insulin is the main substance that the body produces that help us to mop up sugar from the bloodstream. We began to research more into them. We've done some research that we actually cut some of the peptide into pieces and joined them again together. We were doing all of that because some of the materials that these frogs produce are actually toxic. They are toxins, because frogs don't have any defense mechanism. So whenever the predator comes at them, they use those things to attack. So we were trying to remove the toxicity to make it safe for people to use, and as well to increase the potency of some of those materials. When I finished my PhD in 2013, I got some funding from Diabetes UK to further this research into how to develop materials from amphibian skin secretions into a drug. And so what we did at that time is that we have about eight materials that we got from different frogs from America and Africa. So that funding helped us to research into them, remove the toxicity, develop some novel versions of those peptides, the project was actually successful. But on coming to University of Wolverhampton, I decided to push that project forward. And what we have done is that we decided to look at how can we improve the potency of these materials. And also, can we join our amphibian peptides to these molecules that are already natural to the human body in a way that we can now take advantage of what is in the human system and then join the advantage of what we got from these amphibian skin materials to produce something that can be more beneficial to people living with diabetes. And that's what the project is all about. Currently, there is no cure for diabetes, because by combining something that is natural to the human system with this amphibian skin peptide, we might be able to generate something that is long-lasting. You may be aware that people that live with diabetes at times you have to inject insulin, and some of them may have to inject multiple times in a day. But when we produce this kind of materials, it might just become something that they inject only once a day, or maybe even once in a week. It's actually very exciting. That's one of the things that actually keeps us going, knowing that what we do in the lab, even though it's long hours of working in the lab, but that at one point or the other is going to make a difference to somebody's life.